Welcome back, everyone! This is Journitis, bringing you Feed the Beast 1710. Today, we are starting on episode 55, and today we will be doing some advanced PneumaticCraft stuff. I have my assembly line, I reset it up here, and it's working on some PCB stuff for me. It's actually the last of the PCBs. I've been doing a good bit of crafting in between episodes, getting stuff ready for this episode, because we're going to have to cover a lot, so without further ado, let's get going. I like the way this building turned out. Now, the only problem I have is there's no good way to go downstairs, and I don't really like that. So the first thing we're going to do is install a way to go downstairs. So let's get over here, and let's make ourselves an elevator. We're going to be using the PneumaticCraft elevators, of course, because PneumaticCraft. And this is simply some pneumatic cylinders and some origin plastic. We're only going to need this. Each one of these elevator bases is capable of moving the elevator 4 blocks, just so you know. So if you want to go a long distance, you need a lot of those. But we're only going to be moving 8 blocks, so we should only need 2 of them. Alright, so we're also going to need ourselves an elevator collar. Actually, we're going to need 2 of them, one for each floor. One for the basement and one for upstairs. And that should be fine. The other thing we're going to need is some tubing. And for that, we're actually going to start making some advanced pressure tubes, which is just the pressure chamber valve in the assembly line with the laser program. So we're going to go ahead and make some of this. And that should get us plenty of that for the moment. Now we're going to go toss this into the assembly line, and since I'm going to be using this advanced pressure tube to run the line for the elevator, we're going to need this to actually be completed before we can move on. Excellent. Well, while it's doing that, first off, let's sort that out of here. And let's go downstairs and lay out some of the elevator that we're going to be using. We're going to go ahead and put the elevator collar right there. And then we'll go ahead and put the elevator itself right here. And it wound up being exactly 8. It's like I planned it that way. I won't try to tell you that I did plan it that way, because I'm not that smart. But I planned it that way. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Cool. So now we have that there. So let's see. I'm fairly certain that we only need 2 of these elevator blocks down here, but I'm going to put in 3 because... Actually, I'll probably just put in all 4 because it really doesn't matter. I'm not going to use this elevator for anywhere else that I'm aware of at the moment, but, you know, you never know. You can't tell the future, so... one of the things that you should note is that you can actually camouflage this block. So we're going to go ahead and camouflage it to look like the rest of the floor. And now, the elevator just looks just like everywhere else. Cool, huh? Alright, so now that we've got that done, let's see if we have enough advanced pressure tubing up. Excuse me. Let me... See, this is exactly why we need this elevator to be functioning. Alright, currently running, but oh yeah, we've already got 40 advanced tubes. Excellent. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and run this tubing over... Actually, let me think about this. Okay, no, this isn't going to work. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and tear the floor up right here and run the pressure tubing over to here. I'll explain about the advanced pressure tube here in just a second. For now, I just want to get the elevator functional. So give me just a second. I'll be right back. Alrighty, got that line run. Had to break and replace this block for it to acknowledge that it was there now. And we now have floor 1 and floor 1. Well, we don't want floor 1 and floor 1, so what we're going to do is go into the elevator base, go over here to the floor names, and we're going to rename floor 1... Okay, we've only got 2 floors. Okay, so this is floor 1, and this is the basement. And then floor 2, which is actually the first floor, this is the shop. And now, when we get out of here, when we look back, we have the basement and the shop. Excellent. And we have enough air to go ahead and ride the elevator up. That is just a cool mechanic. I really like that. Oh, that's not going to match right here. Other than the hole in the floor that's still here, but that's fine. and you can actually see that it's down there. We're going to go ahead and send this back to the basement because unfortunately our air system is suffering pretty badly right now, and we really kind of need to do something about that. I don't want to have to keep pumping coal in down here, and I'm not going to because I don't have to. So since I don't have to and I'm not going to, we need to do something different. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a new kind of compressor. Okay, this is actually going to be an advanced compressor setup, and this advanced compressor is going to run off of redstone flux, or RF, and that is the flux compressor. I think I've got everything put together for this to be able to make it, except for the advanced pressure tubes, which we just made. We've already made turbine rotors. The compressed iron gear is just iron surrounded by compressed iron, also no big deal. So I went ahead and crafted those in between episodes. And cool, it took one off of there from me. Here, let's make a total of 4 of these if I have the stuff. Oh, sweet, I had exactly right. Alright, cool. So now we have flux compressors. To run the flux compressors, we're going to need a couple of things. One of these things that we're going to need is going to be some conduits. Ooh, we only have 6 power conduits. Let's see. Oh, actually, I should have just left that in there. Let's see if we can't make some more power conduits. There we go. Much better. Alright, so that's got that. One of the other things we're going to want to do, and I want to get started on this right now because it's going to take a very long time for this to happen, we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a couple of vacuum pumps from PneumaticCraft. Because we're working on PneumaticCraft, and I didn't actually need to say we're making them from PneumaticCraft, but I did anyway, so whatever. Sometimes I get lost in my own head. Either way, just being derpy. Alright, so I want a total of 3 of these. I could probably go with 4, but these actually aren't going to be used all that much, but they are going to be important to have more than one of because it takes a long time to do what I'm going to do. But once I get it vacuumed down, it'll stay that way for a while, so trust me, it makes sense. You just have to wait for it. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and run some advanced tube. Now, everything is going to be advanced tubing, okay? I'm going to tear every piece of tubing you see out and make it advanced tubing. And I probably don't have enough tubing to do that and what I want to do right now. But we're just going to run the two together, and then I will replace the other tubing when I get time. So we're going to go ahead and run this advanced tubing up to the second pressure chamber. And now I'm going to show you guys what the second pressure chamber is actually for. Alright, we're going to go ahead and run, let's see, how did I decide I was going to lay this out? I think we're going to do it like this. And we're going to go ahead and put our vacuum pumps here. Alright, now the vacuum pumps run off of compressed air, and as you can see right here, it says that you have to make vacuum by applying pressured air to the positive, and then it sucks air out at the negative. So we are actually good for that, but we probably aren't going to have enough air in the system to keep doing this. I need to make some more of the advanced tubing before I suck the air system dry. But let's... I'm doing this out of order. I had like this outline for the episode, and I just completely ignored it. But that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and come over here and steal some power from here and start these compressors to running. Yoink. Thank you. Alright, so got the conduit, got the power. Let's rock. Alright, so one of the things that should be noted about these redstone, the RF, the flux compressors. I can never say anything right tonight, apparently. That's okay. One of the things we should note about the flux compressors is that they don't run like normal compressors run. We're actually going to wind up having to have excess space between them because of something we're going to do later. Now, when we right-click on this one, it shows that we have, of course, the RF gauge here, and we have the pressure gauge. This can hold up to 20 bars of pressure, which is really good, except completely useless, and I'll explain why here in a minute. The other thing that we have is heat. Okay, when these things are in use, they actually generate heat. Okay, the more heat that they generate, the lower the production gets. As you can see here, we have a maximum production of 16 milliliters per tick. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hook this thing in. Oh, while I'm running this pipe, something you should note is that the RF compressors can only accept power from the top, and they can only output air from one of the end sides. Okay, you can't output air from the side on this side. All right, so keep that in mind if you're trying to run this stuff. You have to hook in power and air in specific places. All right, we're gonna run this all the way over here, because otherwise we're just gonna be pumping into nothing. There we go. So now we're going to go ahead and put ourselves the power on here and the conduit to run it. And what the first thing you should notice is that when this comes on, we can see now that we are, why aren't we getting, oh, because for some reason this thing is configured not to output. Yeah, just go with none, thank you. Now as this starts to gain power and we are starting to generate air, we are already gaining heat here. Okay, and as you can see the heat going up, you're going to see the maximum production start to go down. At a certain point, this thing will actually get so hot that it will generate 0. So you actually have to worry about keeping these cool. And I will show you how to keep these cool here in just a second. For now, I want to go ahead and get them all running, because I actually want them to get hot so I can show you the whole cooling them thing. And I put these off by just a little bit. We'll just have to run with the 3. All right, so these things are building up heat. Now, according to the PneumaticCraft thing here, it says that you can reduce heat by placing ice around them. Here we go. Remove the heat sources, in other words, turn them off, or speed up the process by placing down ice. I've placed down ice, and it didn't do anything. So I don't know if that feature is just not implemented yet. It's just not working. I don't know why that is, but it just doesn't work. Okay. Now, the other thing that we can actually do is go ahead and make ourselves some heat sinks. Okay. Here we go. The heat sinks will attach to the side of these, and they will go ahead and provide cooling for the compressors. Let's see. We're going to need... I've got 2 sides used out of 6. That means that we need 4 of these per compressor. So since we're running 3, that means we're going to need a total of 12. And we just ran out of compressed iron. I seem to be running out of iron a lot lately. I'm getting kind of annoyed and upset that I keep running out of iron. Block of dark iron, that's not very useful. So yeah, we're going to have to do something about that. I'm going to, yeah. Manual mining just ain't got it anymore. But anyway, let's get down here real quick. And you can see that we are up to 202 degrees. And we are already down to 7 milliliters per tick of generation. And that is horrible. Now, when we place these, we will actually see that they will turn red. And that is showing that they have a lot of heat. And as you can see, our heat is starting to go down. It's going down very slowly, mind you, but it's going down. So I'm going to put one of these on each of these to start bringing the temperature down. I need to make more of these to keep the temperature going down quickly and keep it low, but for now we'll just have to be satisfied that it's going down, and our production is now going back up. Excellent. All right, so one of the big problems that we have now, even though these are cooling down, the big problem that we have now is that we are actually, pressure's going up, and it's eventually going to go up fast enough to start exploding things. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hook in these these vacuum pumps. And that's going to go ahead and bring the pressure down because we're going to be using a lot of pressure here. Okay, so we should be seeing this go down fairly quickly. It's not going down quickly at all. It's supposed to be using this up fairly steadily. Well, in any case, this is actually now providing vacuum up here to this pressure chamber. And we should be able to see here, yep, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So this is actually draining the air out of the pressure chamber above us. All right. So while it's doing that, I think that bottomed us out. We're not getting any cooler anymore. Yep. So I need to go ahead and get myself some more compressed iron going because this is not going to be efficient enough. I mean, realistically, the efficiency is not that big a deal. I have the RF. I can easily do this. But I'd rather make it more efficient. So let's go ahead and go back inside now that I have a little bit more iron. And let's make the rest of these heat sinks. Alright, so I had 3, right? So I need 9 more. I think that's right. And we're also going to need some more advanced pressure tubing. The advanced pressure tubing is pretty much just going to have to wait. I don't have the compressed iron, and I'm not going mining again right now to make sure that this goes that way. So for now, let's go ahead and finish getting these cooling. Yeah, these things are a bit touchy about the way you place them, by the way, so you have to be fairly straight when you place them, because otherwise they do stuff like that. This can actually get quite annoying to get to place. I should have done this a little bit more carefully earlier, but oh well. There we go. And there. There. Nope, can't be up there. And there. All right, so this is bringing the temperatures down even further. Now, I can actually, and I'm going to, put another one of these on the underneath of each of these. But again, it's very touchy about where you place them from, so keep that in mind when you're trying to place these. You pretty much have to be almost directly underneath for it to place correctly. So we're going to go ahead and do this, and this should go ahead and get our system up and running and much more efficient, and we should go ahead and be able to let the pressure build up. Now, the pressure is going to become a problem, but we need to regulate it. Now, the thing about this is that these can produce up to 20 bars of pressure. Okay. However, there is nothing currently in PneumaticCraft that lets you automatically regulate 20 pounds of pressure. Unfortunately, it just doesn't exist. There used to be a block in the 1.6.4 version that allowed you to take care of this, and automatically regulate the redstone, just like I'm doing over here. Okay, this turns them off when it reaches a certain pressure. And it's because of the pressure gauge tube module. Now, the problem that we have with that is there is no advanced pressure gauge tube module like there used to be in the old version. So because that is lacking, because it's not there, the most we can do is regulate up to 7.5 pounds of pressure. And I mean, that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with regulating only 7.5. I'd like to regulate it at 19, but that's just not going to happen. Now, the big thing is here that there is no way to upgrade the pressure chamber to accept more than 5 pounds of pressure, or 5 bars of pressure. Okay, you just can't do it. It will not let you. Okay, so what we need to do is make it so that we can hold higher pressure in here and in these machines, but not let the pressure get into everything else and make it explode. And for that, we're going to make another setup like this, and we're going to go ahead and make another item from PneumaticCraft that will help us control that. Let's go back over to the main area. I'm not using the elevator because I'm using up a lot of pressure right now, so just in case you were wondering. All right, so I hope I don't need a bunch of extra iron for this. I should only need one thing. Here we go. And it is the regulator tube module. Now, as it says here, this module will stop pressurized air from traveling through the tube when a certain pressure threshold is reached, okay? So, oh, good, we don't need anything. Nice. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get this, and we're going to go ahead and get one more thing. There we go. And another basic gate should be all I need. Let's grab this and these. And we should be able to go ahead and set this up down here. Now, basically what we're going to do is right over here is where everything's going to tee off, okay? So right here, we can keep up to a maximum pressure here. These can only stand up to 5 bars, okay? Same with these compressors over here, but these compressors will be gone here shortly. And the pressure tanks, the pressure chamber up here can only hold 5, and the elevator itself can only hold 5. So we want to be able to have a high pressure buildup behind a certain point, and that will give us a lot of extra pressure behind it and keep these full easier. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add this pressure regulator, and we're going to go ahead and put it in right here. And that is totally not what I meant to do. Oh, that's right. These things are... Okay, we're going to lose some air here, if that's okay. We're going to go ahead and place this here. And then we'll go ahead and place this in there. And that puts it in the line. All right, so right now it says that the threshold is 7.5 bars. Now, if we look at the if we look at the item in NEI, it will show us that the threshold in bars is equal to 7.5 minus redstone times 0.5. Okay, so when we actually do the math on this, I believe it's going to equal out to about 3. Not 3. Dadgummit. Not 3, but 6. A redstone signal of 6 should keep this at 4.5 bars. So we're going to go ahead and set this up real quick. We've done this before, but it's only going to take a second, so we're going to do it again. Let's see, that's in that block right there. So we're going to put that, and that. And then we're going to have this, and this. All right, so we're going to have a normal gate here, and we're going to have the gate with redstone control over here. And we're going to go ahead and put the red pipe wire. So over here, we're going to set this to, if redstone signal is off, which is true, it's going to generate a red pipe wire, a red pipe signal, okay? So that's going to always keep the red pipe signal on. Now on this side, we're going to say if you get a red pipe signal, we want you to emit a redstone level of 6. So now we should see here, yep, applied redstone is 6, and the threshold is 4.5 bars, which means that we can have as much pressure over here as we want, but only 4.5 bars is going to make it through to this side of the tube. Okay, that should be how this is going to work. Hopefully it's not all the pressure can go over there and only 4.5 can come over here, but we'll have to find that out as we use this stuff up. All right, how are we looking here? Yes, we're doing 15 per tick, which is excellent. And our power is doing pretty good as well. So we should be able to go ahead and let this run for a little bit and go ahead and get this get things pressurized. I'm going to go ahead and tear all this down because I really don't need it. And what we are going to do is move this over here and make it so that these will turn off when it reaches 7.5 bars. Okay, actually I can do that right now while we're talking about it. We have all the stuff here, so let's just grab it, and I will show you how this is going to work. Now, the reason that we can't actually make this work properly is because of the fact that this particular... Get over here. Did I get it all? Okay, it was freaking out on me there. Right, so basically the problem that we have is the way that the formula on this piece works. Where'd it go? Oh, okay, I've lost that piece. Oh no, there it is, I just didn't take it off. As we can see here, we're going to make a mess, but that's okay. Here, hush. Alright, so when we look at this piece right here, it says that the formula is redstone equals 2 times the pressure in bars, okay? So the maximum redstone this can output is 15 because the maximum redstone signal is 15. Nothing can get higher than 15. So if you use this formula and you do the math, it means that this particular pressure gauge tube can only regulate 7.5 bars because 7.5 bars is going to be a redstone signal of 15 according to this pressure gauge. Okay, so since that's all we can do, that's what we have to deal with. So there's no way to make it handle anymore. There used to be an advanced pressure gauge tube module, but it was removed. So, you know, that's a thing. All right, so we're going to have to put this over here so that the redstone signal doesn't interrupt anything. So let's go ahead and put this on here. And we're going to go ahead and run that, and that. And we're going to put the basic gate here and the special gate here. Basic gate right there, special gate right here, and oh no, wait a minute. Got that backwards. Hang on a second. Okay, so special gate, which is, there we go, redstone fader. All right, so here, when the redstone fader, when this thing receives a redstone signal of 15, it's going to put out a red pipe signal. Oh, and it won't show me the red pipe signal until I put the red pipe wire on here. There we go. And then over here, when this receives the red pipe signal, it's going to output the redstone signal. And then, of course, we'll just hook in some conduit here, which we're not going to use this conduit. We're going to go get the sheathed conduit, the covered conduit, and that will connect it into these. And we'll go ahead and set this redstone behavior to only work on a low signal, so that when we reach the pressure, these will go ahead and turn off. All right, so I'm going to finish configuring this. I'm going to let this run for a few minutes, and we will be right back. Alrighty, it took a little bit of time, but we finally got this up and running better. We have got the pressure in the vacuum chamber is now sitting at negative 0.5 bars, which is exactly where we need it to be. It'll actually go down to negative 1 bar when it finishes sucking out the other 205,000 milliliters. But that is going to take a significant amount of time. But negative 0.5 is what we need to get this working. I went ahead and replaced some of these tubes with advanced tubes. You may ask yourself why. I'm regulating the pressure in the tubes, yes, and that's good. But I believe that the advanced pressure tubes allow air pressure to flow through them faster. One thing you might notice is that over here we have 3.2 bars of pressure, but over here we only have 2.9, and that's because the pressure is being built up over here, and it's taking it a while to get, to move over here. As we walk along this, we'll see it slowly getting higher, and that's because when everything stops, it'll have to equalize the pressure throughout all of the tubes, and the advanced pressure tubes should work quicker. At least that's the theory. Take me up. Take me, whatever. I guess it still doesn't have enough pressure yet. That's okay. It's not horribly surprising. So you guys may ask yourself, what's the point of having a vacuum chamber? Well, this is actually a really cool thing that I really don't think too many people know about. You can use the vacuum changer to remove enchants from items. Okay, and yeah, so it's a disenchanter. Now, it also does not damage the item. I will prove this by, let's see here, greater band of mana, greater band of aura, take those both off, and store them, store them in here, and now you can see that I have no mana on my person, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put this sword as the input. Now you see we have sharpness 4, looting 3, and flim flam 1 on this. Alright, it's going to get sucked in there, and plop, oops. Sorry about that. Forgot I had that set up that way. Here we go. So this has 3 enchantments on it, and that's going to pop in there. And when it gets in there, nothing's going to happen. It's just going to sit there. Which, by the way, I put the item life upgrade in here so that nothing would happen. All right. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plop 1 book in here. Now, when this book pops in here, it probably will instantly change. Nope, it sure didn't. Oh, they changed the requirement? Oh, it requires almost 1 full bar. Oh, man. But as you can see here, it is getting close. We're going to have to wait another few minutes. Hang on, we'll get to this. Alrighty, there we go. We now are basically at negative 0.8 bars, and we are down to the short line of sucking air out of this. We'll be at negative 1 bar here shortly. Now, I did go ahead and pull the items out because I wanted you guys to see it happen. So let's see. We're going to go ahead and put in the sharpness 5 sword and the single looting. And dadgummit. Not a single looting, a single book. I went in I put that in, put 1 sword in, 1 book in. And what we should see is when the sword pops in, that book will become enchanted. Excellent. Now, that did not damage the sword. And in theory, if we put 2 more books in, we should get 2 more enchanted books, and the sword should become disenchanted completely. It should lose its glow. And that appears to have worked. And just to make sure, we're going to drop another book in. And that book should pop in there and just be a normal book. And it is. Excellent. So now we can toss this in here along with 2 more books. And that should disenchant those, and we'll wind up with 6 enchanted books and 2 completely disenchanted swords. Now, the usefulness of this, if you don't want to spend lots of stuff creating custom enchanted books in the Ender IO Enchanter, you can just do a level 30 enchant on something that's highly enchantable, and then strip the enchants off for free without damaging the item here. Or it's just, it's a cool way to disenchant. It's a different way that I think most people just don't realize even exists. And look at that. Mana Steel Sword with no enchanting. Unbreaking 3, Unbreaking 3. Another Unbreaking. Wait a minute. How do we have... Uh-oh. Something's wrong here. We can't have Unbreaking 3 on each of these, but twice. Why do we have 3 Unbreaking 3s? Don't tell... Oh, no! They're all going to come out Unbreaking 3? That's not good. Oh, no! Well, I think I found a bug. Yep, if you try to disenchant more than one item... Alright, we're going to have to test this now real quick. It's not supposed to do that, obviously. Let's see, toss these in here. Grab a couple of levels. Toss a random... Actually, you know what? I don't want to do that. I want specifically a... there's one enchant that I really want to get my hands on. Yeah, we'll use this. And we will... Actually, you know what? Let me make another... Whatever. Okay, we're not going to do a random enchant. We'll just use this chest plate. And what we'll do is, since this one doesn't have Unbreaking on it at all, we'll toss this in. It has Protection 4 and Thorns 2. We'll toss that in with a single book. And we aren't losing... Yeah, we're still fine. And I probably should have turned that off because brains. Alright, so we'll pull one out. It'll be hilarious if this comes out Unbreaking 3 book. I will laugh so hard. The real question is... Okay, so it took off the Protection 4. And we should get a Protection 4. So, we now have a way to duplicate books. Realistically, we can now duplicate enchanted books by tossing anything with an enchantment on it in there. And dadgummit, I really got to stop doing that. So yeah, we can actually do that anytime we want. So now I can go ahead and disenchant, disenchant, reenchant until I get the book that I want. And then I can put that book onto the piece of armor that I want. And that'll be really cool. So in between episodes, I am going to go ahead and go hunting for more Mystcraft pages. I want to create a Mystcraft dimension because I am tired of manually mining, and I really don't want to. Okay, so yeah, it works. It works, but somehow we duplicated. That was strange. But I don't want to do any more manual mining. I don't want to set up the Ender Quarry again. I could set up the Ender Quarry. I mean, it's not like it'd be that big a deal to set it up. Unstable and Last Stand 2. Ah, nice. Last Stand is one of the ones I wanted. Anyway, so I'm going to try to get the stuff together to make a Mystcraft dimension. That's really what I want, and I'm just not sure if it's going to be that easy to get the pages. So I may have to spend quite a bit of time off in between episodes getting those pages together. But I guess until next time, we now have a way to disenchant things without any troubles. And yeah, so we're good to go. Next episode, we're going to try to start setting up my ultimate, well, maybe not ultimate, but a really good mining system that's going to mix Botania, Blood Magic, Thaumcraft, and some applied energistics in there just for fun. So, yeah, that one's going to take a couple episodes to make. So, until next time, Jarenight is signing off on episode 55 of my Let's Play series. Like me if you like me, subscribe if you want to see what we get into next, and as always, help spread the gaming!